position of being our representative in the U.S. House. Alan Boyd has been labeled as a follower in the U.S. House. This is your opportunity to determine if Steve will be a leader in the House and a well-armed lamb. Please stand to give your little bodies a rest while we welcome Steve Sutherland to speak to us.
Uh-oh. By the way, that wasn't my seal. just want y'all to know that. Yeah. You know what? Many of you know I'm a funeral director. And I learned a long time ago that when you're the third pastor in a funeral service, if you follow two able speakers already, the third pastor is good just to get up, say the closing prayer, and sit down. So I will be brief in my comments tonight. You have been wonderfully patient, and I want to thank you very much for having me. This is the third time that I have been to your group, and it's amazing to me how many folks, not just from Jackson County, come to your monthly events, but from surrounding counties, Washington County and Calhoun. So I know that District 1, which is Jeff Miller, is the congressman in District 1. I know many of you call him congressman. And so I thank all of you for being here. We always enjoy coming and here to Jackson County. So I want to say this. We're on the final 2 weeks. And you know what? I would be remiss if... wake up, Matt. Hello, Matt. How are you? I would be remiss if we did not introduce Matt. Matt works with Congressman Alan Boyd in the Democratic Party of Florida. And Matt, wait, why don't you want to stand up, Matt? You're welcome to.
You're good.
And I want to make sure, and I did say the Democratic Party, and he works with Congressman Boyd. Every advertisement that is false, by the way, where they have cut 2 and 3 seconds out of my 2-minute response, and they have fabricated and misrepresented my views, has been filmed by Matt and by his friend Ralph Mason. And so I want to make sure that you all know that Matt is in the room, and that... Boyd! You hear that, Matt? You know what? I don't think they hear us yet, but I have a funny feeling they will hear us in 2 weeks. Amen. You know, I have an opponent that wants to talk about everything but the issues. So therefore, I've got to talk about the issues since the experience of our 14-year congressman will not. You know, I don't have to tell you that in the state of Florida, we have historic unemployment numbers, almost 12%. We have a foreclosure crisis that ranks in the top 4 of the United States of America. I don't have to tell you that we are all feeling the weight of $14 trillion of national federal debt, and that everyone in this room, along with our children and our grandchildren, each owe $43,000 in federal debt. I don't have to tell you that we are being crushed out here in the heartland, while a central government 1,000 miles from here continues to morph into something that our original framers never intended. I want you to say that the place that Alan now calls home, in Washington, D.C., is made up of the 3 wealthiest counties in the United States of America. I will tell you that there is no recession in Washington, D.C. Money flows like milk and honey. And it bothers me greatly. Okay, when I go up there, it infuriates me. Because you see, I'm part of North and Northwest Florida that's struggling to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, with the oppressiveness and the loss of our personal freedoms and our individual liberties. And it infuriates me. It angers me. Because up there, Washington, D.C. is not a reflection of the people. It is not. Every restaurant, it seems like I go by, there's a 30-minute wait. Every mall parking lot you drive by, the mall parking lot is slam full. And yet, I know there are small businesses everywhere in every community across this country, and including the 16 counties that make up Congressional District 2, that they are grieving, they are hurting, they are saddened because they are locking their doors, they are sending their employees home, and they are losing the American dream. And yet Congressman Boyd and Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama could care less. I will tell you this, our opponent is on the run. And the mere fact that Matt has graced us with his presence tonight lets us know that they're not done twisting, filming, fabricating, lying. Because they know, if they were, Matt wouldn't be here, y'all. So the mere fact that he is here tells us that it's starting to get through. Now here's what we've got to do. We've got to recognize that because of the blessings of the God who created us, not a government, we didn't derive our rights, as Chris Ann said very ably a few moments ago, we derived our rights from the God who made us. Amen. Okay? But those rights, those freedoms have been protected and defended by men and women who have shed their blood on every continent around this globe. And so therefore, in their memory and in their honor, and I believe to please the one who did make us and who did give us and grant us our rights, we must exercise our rights. Many of you have already voted absentee. Many of you started today voting, early voting, which runs from today on till the 30th. And then on November the 2nd, the balance of those who will weigh in on the leaders of tomorrow that will take us forward. It is incumbent upon us to use our influence to make sure that that all of America, it bothers me that only a fraction of this country determines the leaders of our future. I believe with all my heart that if we get out to vote, and we as Americans vote, and I know that that's Republicans and Democrats and Independents, and there are many of you in this room from various party affiliations. As I travel around this great district, okay, there's far more conservative Democrats than there are Republicans in the sheer numbers. Many of you in the rural counties, I know you want to vote for your local election and your local officials. And so there's a switch happening. There's a movement happening because those of you who are members of the Democratic Party realize that your national party has left you.
Yes.
Now, you know what? Going forward, we as Americans, we must vote. And so I believe if we get out the vote, I believe that the world will see on November the 2nd that the greatest nation that God has ever created, the last best hope, as Reagan said, the last best hope for freedom, that the sleeping giant, as Churchill referred to us, has once again awakened.
Amen.
Awakened. Our allies will rest easier at night. Because the waffling out of this administration will be over. I believe that will be over in 2012, but it will certainly be over in Congress. I believe that our enemies will be a little more nervous because we will have leaders that do say what they mean and mean what they say, and I've been criticized by my opponent for that statement. You know what? But in our house growing up, we always knew that Daddy meant what he said and he said what he meant.
Well, you know what? These boys don't mean what we say.
Now, I want you to be very mindful of your time. respectful of your time. And so I want to say going forward, what a great privilege it has been. You know, other than Susan and I welcoming 4 beautiful daughters into the world, this has been the most incredible experience of my life. I just want you to know, we're in our 55th week. We have traveled over 50,000 miles.